I end up running into a cold river. When it was -3, -4 degrees, and we were shooting in Kashmir.
And it was a seminal moment for me, even as an actor, as a human being, to live that moment.
Hi, you're watching HD's OTT Play. I'm Nirali in conversation with the star cast of Ranneeti, Balakot and Beyond. Firstly, welcoming you, Prasanna and Ashish sir, on for exclusive conversation on HD's OTT Play. I want to take you back to the time, in 2019, when we first heard the news of the Pulwama attack. What was your headspace then, and about the soldiers who were martyred in that incident?
So, very painful fact, but since repeatedly such things were happening, I said, oh gosh, another one. And what has happened over the years is that we have had these attacks and you felt bad and pained, but you don't talk about it because you just say that kya baat hoga, again it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
But I think what differentiated that attack from anything that was done in the past is that the rapid response of the Indian government to take action, that was the thing which redefined Pulwama for me.
Yeah.
Because it was not another, this has happened. It was like, you know what? There was a response and a message sent. So that is my entire memory of that how it happened that day. And then within 15 days, something else was there for me, yes.
And it was historic.
Absolutely. That I think was the defining one.
The defining
yes.
moment. What were your thoughts?
For me, like any average Indian, it was extremely painful and it was very angering. Like people have started thinking enough is enough. Something has to be done about this. It's not going to be happening again and again, and we're just not going to get over it. This time, something has to be done. And that retaliation, what at that point in time the Indian Army did, was the best thing.
Yeah.
And like sir said, that changed the course of history, I think.
Of course. But now, when a series was being made, when the script was narrated to you about Ranneeti, what was the one factor that kind of drew you towards saying yes to doing Ranneeti, Balakot and Beyond?
For me, what was very interesting is that we knew a lot of the things which were available on television, available on print journalism, things that happened. But remember, Ranneeti was 9 hours of time we had.
Yeah.
And guess what? A whole lot of stuff which was at some point possibly even classified. We got that material, and the research team and the directorial team and the creative team actually created the entire series on the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What went on after those those
9
strikes,
hours.
after those events. For me, that is a seminal thing, because we see a lot of those, the dabam, all things happen. That's great pyrotechnics and everything. But then the thinking, and that's why it's called Ranneeti.
Yeah.
What happened post that first incident and what resulted thereafter is what this entire project is about. And that really inspired me. I said, this is material and this is a story that needs to be told.
Of course. And what was the defining moment for you to take up Ranneeti?
For me, to get a call to do a role of our national hero itself was a very exciting thing. I didn't have to think about anything else. Instantly I said, yes, I'm doing it. What I got to know after saying an S is that the story that we all know, we all have seen, like sir said, in the news, in social media, everywhere during that time, is only the small portion of the entire story that we know. We all thought when Abhinandan came back to India, that was a climax for all of us. But then that's not the climax. That's only the beginning of the story. And there is a very long story that we all never knew that happened behind the walls. So that story is what was more compelling for me to get more involved into this.
Yeah. Apart from the fact that that it taps into the Balakot incident, and beyond that, it also taps into the modern warfare. When you guys were working on the series, what was the one surprising revelation that you also came to know about the modern warfare and the hybrid warfare that happens these days?
Yeah, I mean, the script beautifully explores that how the people who are planning strategies all over the world are aware that it's not just the tanks and the men on the ground who are going to win wars. It's going to be what is the perception of things, how our nations going to be seen by other nations, how powerful you are placing yourself as, and therefore that hybrid nature of it.
Yeah.
And that has been very beautifully written and done. And Lara, I think, has done a brilliant job as an actor who plays the prime role in being someone who is responsible for the narrative of what is going to happen. So at one end, there is the practical thing.
The execution part.
The execution, some things are happening and heroes are going and doing their thing. On the other end is how are we preparing the world for what is going to happen? So I think in that sense, Ranneeti is an extremely modern thinking project in which people will actually get to know, some students of world affairs will get to know what are the layers of what planners go into and think before anything is done. So you realize that nothing is just a knee-jerk reaction.
Of course.
It is well thought of and it is part of a larger design. And I was enamored by, oh wow,
something
many things
like this can actually happen.
Yes, and they are not disconnected. Everything, there's a method. There's a beautiful line from Caligula. It says there's a method to the madness. So nothing is disconnected. Everything is connected. So I was quite awe-inspired while reading the script, how it has been woven in.
What was the surprising element for you?
Surprising element for me was first thing that I got the call for this role. I was wondering, who is that gentleman who pitched my name for this role? I'm still wanting to meet him, thank him, because this was totally out of the blue. You know, I have never tried to meet anybody or tried to get into Hindi films ever before, and I never even thought that I'll be doing a Hindi project. That's the time when I got a call for this series, for this role, and it was a very sweet surprise that I got. So that's the biggest surprise I had. But then working with big names like Sir, Lara Ma'am, Jimmy Shergill Sir, Ashutosh Rana Sir, it was a very cherishable memory for me, and especially doing the role, performing the role. There is a scene where I fell into the other side of the fence. When I wake up, I realize I'm not in my territory anymore. I have my documents on me. I'm not supposed to, reveal things to others. I'm supposed to destroy the documents, but there are people who are chasing me. I end up running into a cold river. I mean, it was -3, -4 degrees, and we were shooting in Kashmir. I had to get into the water, and it wasn't just one take. We were going again and again for various reasons. Every time I get into the water, when I come out, my legs will feel numb, totally senseless. That's the amount of cold water it was there. So every time I come out, they'll have the campfire ready. They'll remove my shoes. They'll warm me up. Once I'm ready, they'll again get ready for the shot. I'll have to run again into the water. What kept me going back into the water every time is the kind of passion our soldier, our men in uniform have for the country. I'm an actor, I'm getting paid for my work. I might think twice to get into that cold water, twice or thrice or more. But a soldier who's always ready to sacrifice his life for the sake of the country, he's not sure if he's going to sleep that night. He's not sure if he's going to meet his family again. But he's always ready. He's always ready for his call, for his moment of glory. That thought kept me going back into the water every time the director wanted. And I had a very beautiful, supportive team. They really took care of me. and it's what can I say? On the whole, it's a huge blessing. I'm really thanking God. I'm really feeling humbled to have gotten this role, to be part of Ranneeti.
Of course, but looking also forward to that, to see how your character unfolds in the series. But sir, talking about your character as well, what were the challenges that you faced while portraying the part that you play in Ranneeti, and which was the one scene that kind of took an emotional toll on you?
Definitely, the challenging part was to etch a character based on thoughts on the script. As I told you, most of the people that who are behind the stage, whom you don't hear of, don't know of, people have conjectures of what those people could be. How could they be thinking? So when that script for me was the framework on which I said, okay, I'm getting to understand what they are thinking. So my character was created out of that. There are quite a few sequences, but one scene which I would identify is, and I won't divulge more, but at one point, Madhusudan gets that a big mistake has been done. And for me, it was a very seminal moment, because I always have thought that when somebody takes a big call in which lives are involved, how does that person feel in a dark room? What does that person's guilt, how does it work? That, gosh, have I put somebody in harm's way? And it was a seminal moment for me, even as an actor, as a human being, to live that moment of this person who believes in a cause, but will have to take some dangerous and drastic decisions. So there were many such moments, but this is one which I distinctly remember. So I'm very, very excited that this entire film, if I can tell you, is a behind the scenes of what all happened.
Yeah, it's the beyond part that people will be excited to see.
Exactly. And I'm so happy that on 25th April, you're going to watch it on Jio Cinema.
And a concluding question, you know, so Ranneeti is also coming on a platform, OTT medium, which has seen growth ever since it, came into effect. Do you think the content that is being made, I mean, there are a lot of shows that are being made. Do you feel there's a need to, I mean, at some extent, censorship is needed for these platforms?
Let's face it, life will find its own things. So at this point, let it flow. And when times come, there will be balances and checks. As for me, I find this as a great opportunity for people to create stuff. The world needs an oxygenated atmosphere in which people can tell stories. You see, I go into the absolute, if you just look at people, the camera people, there are writers, there are editors, there are directors, there are actors who want to do stuff. And OTTs are giving people an opportunity to reach places which they could never have imagined. So for me, it's a liberation for the artist. What do you say?
I think definitely, like sir said, OTTs it's opened up. It has opened up a lot of avenues for actors and writers and creators. Though I wouldn't advocate for a complete censor-free, atmosphere, I would recommend our side. I would recommend our side, writers, creators, producers, to be responsible about what we are showing. There is, to be honest, there is no censorship in real life. There's no censorship in real life.
Filters,
you walk on the road,
you're hearing
something happens in front of you,
Yeah.
what you shouldn't be seeing, it's not in your control. Life doesn't have any kind of screens or any kind of censorship. That should be the case with any creation also, but then it should be very, very, very responsible. You have to be responsible about what you're showing to people, what you shouldn't show to people.